Hey there everyone, User1Campbell here, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Rire of Chaos Q&A series. Yeah, November's also just been okay for the most part. Moved on from the SEC to become an independent commentator, but that's primarily it for this month's news. Anyways, another month, meaning time for the questions of this episode's Q&A. AdsSilverthehedgehogandlokifan asks, who do you think is the most tragic villain? I don't really know, I'll be honest. There's a lot of tragic villains in media, and boiling it down to who is the most tragic is difficult for me. Can't really answer this one, unfortunately. But, if I can, sometime in the future, I'll probably make an addendum comment. Who are some of your favorite trios in movies and video games? For movies, I'd probably say the MCU's version of Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, Alvin, Simon and Theodore, Shrek, Fiona and Donkey, and Joy, Sadness and Bing Bong. For video games, that's an easier selection. Shadow Rouge and Omega, Dante, Trish and Lady, Michael, Franklin and Trevor, Roxas, Axel and Shion, Cloud, Aerith and Tifa, and Liu Kang, Kung Lao and Katana. Would you rather own the Chaos Emeralds or the Soul Emeralds? The Chaos Emeralds. Is there a show and movie that you enjoyed growing up and you still enjoy now? Yeah, for shows, that's Lab Rats. For years, that was my favorite show of all time. While it's not anymore, it's still one of my favorites and a very damn great watch. For movies, despite never knowing it was hated and ever since I started knowing a few years ago, I still enjoy Cars 2 a lot. Biri asks, any Norwegian media that you like? No, but that's only because I have not seen any Norwegian media. Your favorite cartoon, including anime? Ruby. The show has a lot of problems, don't get me wrong, but it has always been such a great watch that even with the problems, it doesn't stop me from enjoying what I already love. The fact that Volume 10 is going to be happening is already base enough as it felt like a long time ago now since Volume 9, and good lord. Least favorite villain. I answered this question a couple years ago during my 19th birthday Q&A, so people who watched that know who it is. It is Black Doom from the Sonic series. Even as a young kid, I never liked him. I thought he was incredibly boring and his plan was fucking flawed. That said, time has passed since that Q&A video, and hence we have Shadow Generations with Black Doom as the main antagonist. And I'm gonna be honest, his plans are at the very least much better than his plans in the Shadow the Hedgehog video game, but I still find him boring as fuck. Crazy Flame 7 asks, if you were in your favorite RPG game, what would your moveset be? Okay, time to talk about Persona 3 Reload. I'd like to be a Persona user that has a Persona with the element of fire. Potentially some stat buffs, a healing ability, and strike skills too. As for my weapon, I'd probably just go with a standard one-handed sword. Hardhead Guy 42 asks, have you seen the new Pokemon Legends EA Megaforms? If so, which one do you like, both released or recently revealed? I have seen the new Megaforms for Legends EA, as I am currently playing the game as is and nearly finished the main story of the game and having a fantastic time with it. My favorite Megaforms in that game are Mega Chandelure, Mega Hawlucha, Mega Dragonite, and Mega Emboar. If you were to have a game made from the ground up, what would you want remade and by who? I think out of all games, I would love to see Drakengard 1 get remade from the ground up. That game suffers a lot from first game syndrome, and it would be really nice to see that game get remade. As for who I think should remake it, I'd easily say Koei Tecmo. The ground battles in the Drakengard series were inspired by Koei Tecmo's most popular franchise, Dynasty Warriors, and it's evident with how the camera works and the style of hack and slash the Drakengard team decided to go for. I love the Near Side series, with Automata being one of my favorite games of all time, but it would be nice to see Drakengard get a grandiose return, especially if the combat for a remake of Drakengard 1 is more fleshed out. And if I trust any company to assist Square Enix with the job of a Drakengard game, I trust Koei Tecmo the most. What is your favorite video game OST? I've answered this before in my 21st birthday Q&A video, but it's still Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The implementation of elite motifs are so fucking great and are used throughout the soundtrack, but I find it insanely fun to find remixes or hidden elite motifs in several of that game's tracks. But especially with Xenoblade 3 implementing its storytelling into the soundtrack, that even without being shown where these tracks play, you can still assume the reason and when these tracks would be played. Other games do it well too, but something about Xenoblade 3 in particular just makes it magical to me. Which franchise do you like where despite its legacy has died out from irrelevancy? I cannot answer this one, unfortunately, because I don't know which franchises have been confirmed dead because of irrelevancy. LFonTV asks, what was your favorite video you got to collaborate on? Honestly, the cover I did with Jack Soroff on Don'ts from Persona 3 Reload episode, I guess. However, most videos I've collabed on other people's channels are videos I think are still good but could have been so much better, videos I don't stand behind anymore, and one video I fucking regret being a part of. What's your favorite Donkey Kong game? If we're excluding the demo of the 1981 Donkey Kong game, none of them, but only because I've never played a DK game before. I have an actual Wii copy of Donkey Kong Country Returns that's been collecting dust ever since I got that game in 2020. It's been 5 years now since 2020, somebody fucking help me. Did you ever play any Mario fan games? The only one I remember from the top of my head that I played was actually the infamous Cat Mario. I don't really play fan games, to be honest. Like, I'll play them, but I've always stuck to official releases more. Fan games have just been a I'll play them, but not an occasion type of feeling for me. Which video game character would you date on a top 5? Probably not a top 5, but my 5 would be 2B from Nier Automata, because of course, Malevola from Dispatch, Quan Ichinose from Persona 5 Strikers, and both Catherine and Shamir from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Mooniera asks, what's Thanksgiving like for you? Thanksgiving isn't really a thing here in New Zealand, but I would have no doubt in my mind that there would be at least 1 or 2 families that celebrate it. My family doesn't though, neither do I. Pacmariomoimusic asks, would you rather eat a block of ice or Subway tuna? I've already done one of these before, eating a block of ice. Never had a Subway tuna before though. Riley asks, what's your opinion on Sonic and the Black Knight's ending, as in when Sonic speaks to Merlina? Not my favorite in the series, but damn it is up there in one of my favorites. Great life lesson about living our lives to the fullest, and a funny moment where apparently Sonic is the one and true King Arthur. Like damn. What's your least favorite Sonic level/zone? In 2022, when I made my initial list, I had Aquatic Mine from Sonic Adventure 2 as my overall least favorite. But since it has been 3 years since that list, while I still hate Aquatic Mine, it is not my least favorite Sonic level anymore. Because River Rush from Sonic Boom as a lyric can absolutely go fuck itself, and it doesn't help it aside from a repetitive ass dialogue for when you get hit, but the controls and button mapping for the goddamn raft makes this level more frustrating than it should be. And this is the only level where you use the raft, mind you. If you could allow any characters who have died to come back in any game series, who would you choose? Bringing back someone from the dead is risky, because if a character served their purpose enough to the point where they get killed off, or if the character died as influence to help a certain character grow and develop, then I don't want to bring those characters back, because otherwise, if not careful, could fuck up a writing decision for why they died in the first place. But oh my fucking god, Makoto Yuki from Persona 3. They have this whole thing with Elizabeth where she wants to revive Makoto, and if Atlas and her writing team decide they want to continue and finish that would make me cry with absolute happiness. Elizabeth spin-off game, please Atlas, finish the Great Seal storyline. What's a part in a Sonic game you could do perfectly no matter how long it's been? While I wouldn't say perfectly, I've had so much trouble beating the Bio-Lizard from Sonic Adventure 2 as a kid, like most of us did, but nowadays I can absolutely beat it on my first try without trouble almost every time. And finally, the last 8 questions come from XenoJamie 2003, who asks, who is the most evil Xenoblade villain? I'd probably say Dirk, aka Console D from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Most villains in the series are usually tragic to the point where I wouldn't consider them the most evil. At least most tragic villains tend to fall under this category for me. But I usually tend to let the most evil villains go to characters that are unapologetically evil. Characters like Moonkar and Zanza from Xenoblade 1 and Staneth from Torrent of the Golden Country are prime examples of these types of characters. Dirk, however, is a vicious killer, loving Marashi gains from murdering, often collecting pieces from the corpses of his victims to keep as trophies, and has even killed people from his own side. Even after remembering his past lives before becoming Mobius, he straight up didn't get angry, but rather enjoying all the carnage he caused, and even more glad to enjoy the feeling forever now that he became Mobius. He's also manipulative, having casual talks playfully before initiating combat, and even attempts to destroy people's morals, as that is what happened with one of his victims, who is one of our party members. There is no tragic reason as to why he does what he does, he just does it. Dirk in Xenoblade 3 is the living embodiment of every shred of humanity too far gone. And with Ionios' fucked up status quo with killing to live by fueling up your assigned colony's flame clocks, not because anyone wanted to fight, but because this was normalized for millennia, Dirk wouldn't care since no matter what, he lives for the bloodlust. He made the choice to be who he is, and I think I spent longer on this question than necessary, so I am moving on now. You think Tails and Tora can be friends? Honestly, yeah, I believe so. Tails and Tora are both good with machinery, and I think as both friends and lab partners, they both get along pretty well. Which female character in Persona 5 do you romance the most? So, I'm on my second playthrough of vanilla Persona 5 on my PS3, and currently am on my very first playthrough of Persona 5 Royal on my Switch, and I tend to go for harem routes quite a lot when playing through Persona 5. But out of all the female characters I romance, probably Tai Takumi, I'll be honest. And what is your favorite final boss? The final boss from A Way Out. I'm not gonna say what it is because it is the final boss, and I personally believe it is better than you know what it is for yourself when you play it. And that's all the questions answered for today. Thank you all so much for participating in this episode of the Rider of Chaos Q&A. Feel free to leave your questions for the next episode in the comment section down below, or in the community post I'll be making after this video releases, which will be linked in the description. Until then, I'm User1Campbell, and see you all next time.